Hello everyone, this is part 9 of What If Naruto Awakened Storm release, and I hope you guys enjoy this video and to like, to subscribe, to see more, comment down below. And Kakashi were all at the gates of the village getting ready to leave. They were currently being thrown a goodbye celebration. The whole Sand Village was there and thanking them. They had protected the village and also saved their leader from death. Naruto was used to this now, so he just stood there proud with Kasumi around his neck with matching grins on their faces. Sakura was not used to this kind of praise, so she was blushing and looking away while hiding behind Naruto a little bit. She would give out small waves and smile but would always hide behind Naruto when she would see a cute guy. Kakashi seemed relaxed as ever with his book still out. However, his head seemed to be lower into the book than normal. He was never one for celebrations and a lot of attention. Alright everyone, I think we have done enough partying. Naruto remembered how the whole village was glowing last night. They had partied all night long and some people even partied through the day and were still going at it. You say that, but you are still holding liquor in your hand. Sakura said in a deadpan from behind Naruto. Naruto simply turned his head and grinned. He then got a smirk on his face that Sakura didn't like. He pulled Sakura out in front of him and placed a hand on her shoulder. Are there any men who would like to take my cute little sister out for a date? A bunch of boys raised their hands in excitement while looking at Sakura with hearts in their eyes. Sakura's eyes went wide and she tried to get away, but Naruto only held her in place. No. Brother, stop. Sakura tried to run away, but Naruto grabbed her with his chakra chain and pulled her back. As you can see, she has a lot of energy. Who thinks they can keep up with her? Naruto yelled to the crowd, making the boys almost trample over everyone on their way to Sakura. Sakura, seeing this, only did what she was good at. Destroying. I said no, damn it. The pink-haired medic brought her fist down on the ground and a massive crater formed in the sand, which was quickly filled with sand. This caused a gap between all of the sand villagers and her team. Sakura then turned a glare to Naruto, who was still grinning at her. Take us home. Sakura punched Naruto right in the face with chakra coming off her fist. Naruto didn't even flinch. Come on sis, I was only joking, but if you want to go back so bad, fine. Naruto pulled the two into his arms. I will see you all some other time. Bye Naruto-sama. A bunch of women from the brothel houses and fangirls yelled to Naruto. The armor-clad blonde simply winked at the girls, causing them all to swoon. He then left in a blue flash. Hokage office. In a blue flash, Sakura, Kakashi and Naruto were standing in front of Tsunade's desk. Naruto was giving his busty mother a grin. Kakashi was reading his book and Sakura was throwing up in the trash. Mission successful. Naruto spoke over the sound of Sakura throwing her guts out. I expected nothing less, Tsunade said with a smile on her face. Honestly Hokage-sama, I don't see why you even added us to this battle. Kakashi flipped a page in his book, getting a glare from Tsunade which made him tense up. Naruto could have beaten him by himself. This made Naruto chuckle. If I just went and defeated them all at once. That would make the dance boring. Naruto patted Kakashi on his back. Plus, I also wanted to see you guys and your power. Naruto was pleased from what he saw. Sakura had gotten very strong from the last time he had fought with her. If things kept up, she would become stronger than Tsunade. Kakashi could train a little more and also make his stamina better, but the gray-haired man was too lazy and slightly arrogant in his Sharingan. Did we miss anything, Lady Tsunade? Sakura asked after she healed herself and got a hold of herself. No, not really. Naruto was about to speak up until he felt something in his pocket pulse. Hold on you guys, I am going to talk to the Akatsuki. Naruto then pulled the ring he got from Sasori and slipped it on his finger and sent his chakra into the ring. Wait Naruto, don't do something so reckless. Tsunade yelled and got up from her seat. It was too late though. Naruto had seemed to space out and not be responding to anything. When Naruto opened his eyes again, he did not see the office. He was just standing in what looked like a dark cave, and he was standing on what looked like a giant finger. He gazed around with sharp eyes at what was around him. He had no trace of joking on his face. The usual grin that was on his face was now gone and replaced with eyes that were sparking with power. The other members looked at Naruto in surprise and a hidden fear of the man who had been killing them off left and right. They wondered how he even got to this place, but then saw the ring on his finger that used to belong to Sasori. There was silence in the cave. No one made a move or uttered a sound. It seems I have found the rabbit hole. Naruto broke the silence that was in the cave. His body made from static shimmered to life. What are you doing here, Nine Tails? Pain, the leader spoke, looking down on Naruto as if he was beneath him. Which he was in Pain's opinion. Naruto looked at the person who spoke and guessed he was the leader of this group. The locked gazes, and Naruto didn't back down from the gaze of God. Naruto looked curious at finally seeing the legendary eyes of the Sage of Six Paths. So you are the big bad leader of these misfits. I am impressed that you have the eyes of the Sage of Six Paths. Pains narrowed his eyes on the blonde boy. How do you know of these eyes? Pain more or less demand from Naruto. The other members stayed quiet while silently watching the whole conversation unfold. Does it really matter how I know? Naruto crossed his arms while still looking towards Pain. I suppose it doesn't. You will still fall to God. Oh, are you saying that you are God? Naruto chuckled to himself. This made Pain narrow his eyes in anger at the blonde. You dare laugh at God, you and all the other beasts shall fall and know pain. That is when Naruto's killing intent and power flared. This sent Itachi, Zetsu, and Konan to their knees. Naruto saw the one with a swirl mask struggle a little but otherwise brush his power off. He also saw the unmistakable view of a Sharingan. He would keep that for later. Naruto then turned his gaze back to the leader, who seemed to be affected by his power if the wide eyes and panicked face was anything. You listen here, bitch, you better hope I don't find where you are. Because if I do. Naruto paused and spiked his power even more. I'll kill you, Naruto said coldly, and his hair turned white and spiked up for a quick second. The blonde then vanished from the cave, allowing all of the members to get back on their feet. Back in the office, Naruto opened his eyes to see the whole place cracked and destroyed. Tsunade and Sakura were behind her desk peeking over it. Kakashi was outside with his one visible eye wide in shock and hidden terror. The Anbu in the room were out and approaching Naruto hesitantly. Naruto saw this and got a sheepish look on his face. He put his hand behind his head and scratched it nervously. Sorry about that, guys, guess the Uzumaki temper got the best of me. They all just looked at him blankly for a second until his mother snapped out of it first. Got the best of you. Tsunade was on him in a second. She was pulling his ear hard and using her incredible strength to make it hurt. You damn near destroyed my office. OWW, you're going to pull my ear off. Naruto whined childishly in a chibi form along with Tsunade, who was whacking him on the head. Everyone just watched the mother and son with clear amusement. Even the Anbu chuckled a little at seeing the storm of the leaf be scolded by his mother. Once Tsunade was done punishing her son, she walked away with a huff and crossed arms under her wonderful bosom. Sakura-chan, can you tell the rest while I go home and get some medical attention to my brain? Naruto then left in a wind tornado, not giving her a chance to answer. Well, I guess I have no choice now. Sakura then turned to Tsunade, who was sitting at her new desk and chair. When we were about to kill Sasori, he told us some important news. Oh yay? Like what? Tsunade asked with a head tilt. He said he was meeting with a spy in 10 days at Tenchi Bridge. Tsunade's face became serious. She got a bad feeling about this, and that never meant anything good. Go on. The spy has information on Orochimaru and his whole village, supposedly. Tsunade's feeling was correct. Her evil teammate had something to do with this. However, this was a chance that couldn't be missed. They could possibly get the drop on the snake freak and wipe him and his village out. Okay, I will send you guys out on this mission. Kakashi, make sure you are ready for this mission in 10 days, but you guys will need another teammate to help you out. Kakashi, who was still outside enjoying the breeze, snapped his book closed and looked at Tsunade. Do we really need another teammate? You know we are good enough to go on this mission without someone possibly bringing us down. That is correct, but for the sake of team balancing I have to give you guys one extra. Kakashi looked at Tsunade blankly for a moment. Whatever you say, Hokage-sama. Kakashi then walked out with his book in hand, leaving Tsunade and Sakura in the office. Streets of Konoha. Naruto was walking down the street to his compound. He was thinking about just flashing there but decided to walk and admire the view of the village. He smiled and waved at all the people who greeted him. Naruto then saw a familiar pineapple top. Shikamaru. Naruto said and put an arm around the lazy boy's neck and gave him a grin. The black-haired boy sighed from the action but soon smirked back at his longtime friend. Hey Naruto, I see you are still being a drag as usual. Hey, Don't be like that. Naruto then grinned and Shikamaru didn't like that. I just got back from the sand and you know who I saw. Here it comes. Shikamaru said in his head. Your fine-ass girlfriend. Naruto then laughed out loud. He would always mess with Shikamaru about how he managed to get a girl like Temari. What a drag. If you mind, I am preparing for the Chunin exams right now. Are you now? Naruto put a hand on his chin. They're going to be in the sand this year, right? Right. Hey you guys. They both looked up to see Choji eating some barbecue chips. Choji, I always see you putting something in your mouth. Naruto then got a smirk on his face and walked to the boy. Shikamaru saw the smirk and did a silent prayer for Choji in his head. Naruto then went up to the boy and whispered in his ear. Choji's face quickly became red and he had steam coming from his ears. NNN Naruto, that is P perverted. All Naruto did was laugh and pat the fat boy on the back. You will understand sooner or later. Naruto's eyes then snapped to where he saw a black and white tiger running towards him and his friends. He simply swiped his hand down and the tiger dispelled in an instant. Naruto's eyes snapped to the pale boy who was sitting across from them with a blank face and drawing brush in his hand. Shikamaru and Choji snapped to attention and got ready to defeat the enemy. Who is that guy? Shikamaru asked, his voice no longer holding the laziness it once had. Doesn't matter, he is dead. The next thing Shikamaru and Choji knew, Naruto was no longer standing where he once was and was now on the guy who was attacking them. He's fast. Shikamaru and Choji thought. Naruto pulled out his moonlight sword and clashed it with the other guy's tonto. Naruto overpowered him immediately. Naruto scowled and put his sword back in its sheath. You are not even worth my blade, weakling. Naruto then formed a blade of lighting over his right hand. The glow shinned of his navy blue armor light a ray of hope or how his enemies see it. The light to death. Naruto ran his hand right through the pale boy's heart, destroying his heart in an instant. Naruto looked at him with no remorse as blood spilled on his hand and stained his armor. The boy coughed up more blood and dropped to his knees once Naruto yanked his hand out of his chest. Daring to challenge me was foolish of you. Naruto had no mercy for his enemies. This gave him the nickname of Heavenly Demon from the Iwa Ninja. Over the 3 years he had killed a good chunk of Iwa ninjas. They wanted to dance but were not able to match his steps. All except the little bee. She probably hated him for killing a bunch of her comrades, but she too had laid waste to ninjas of the leaf. Well, that was quick. Shikamaru said, looking at the dead body under his feet. Geez Naruto, you didn't have to be so brutal. Choji didn't like how brutal Naruto killed the guy. He had heard stories of how Naruto killed his enemies with no mercy no matter who they were. I didn't have to, but, with Anko as your sensei and the Nine Tails training you, it's hard not to get some of their quirks after so long of fighting with them. Naruto searched the body of the dead teen and pulled out things that might be useful. So does everyone in your clan fight like you do? Choji asked nervously. He was a little nervous about having a whole clan of ninjas that fought like Naruto. He got his answer when Naruto turned his head and smirked at him. Naruto then rose to his feet and released some of his power for the world to feel. Lightning sparked from his body and the sound of thunder clapping could be heard. It was like the gods were applauding Naruto on his power. The Uzumaki are the strongest ninja. No one can stop us. Naruto spoke with utter power and confidence in his clan. All the Uzumaki around the world had a sudden spark of courage and confidence. Shikamaru and Choji had the urge to get on one knee and pledge loyalty to Naruto. They were moved by his confidence in his clan because they too were clan heirs and had to represent their clan. They wanted to be like Naruto Uzumaki. The storm of the leaf. Follow me. Naruto's voice was commanding and authoritative. It left no room for argument. Yes. The two boys grabbed the body and left in a body flicker. Hokage office, who the fuck is this? Naruto asked while standing over the body of Sai with his foot on the dead teen's back. Naruto, can't you see I am busy? Tsunade was talking to the three elders while Hiruzen was standing next to her. Old man, you're still alive. Naruto said, seeing Hiruzen in green and black clan robes while smoking his pipe. Hiruzen only chuckled at the armor-clad blonde. I am very much still alive. But if you keep flexing your power like that, I might die from a heart attack. Naruto chuckled to himself. Well, I had to show these two how they run a clan. Naruto pointed at Shikamaru and Choji. It doesn't matter, why are you here, boy? The elder Kohara said. Naruto looked at the other elders coldly. His eyes were sharp and posture ridged, as if waiting for someone to make a move. The elders began to sweat nervously and even Danzo seemed a bit off. Damn it, he killed Sai. He was one of my best tools. Who is this guy? Naruto asked once again. He was supposed to be your new teammate. Tsunade spoke up. Then why did he attack us? I sent him to greet you. Danzo chose this time to speak up and hopefully gain control of the situation once again. Next thing he knew, Naruto slammed him into the wall and had a glowing blade of sharp chakra at his throat. Naruto looked Danzo into his one good eye. Ever since he had ripped the fake out along with cutting his arm off, which was made of Hashirama cells. I should just kill you right now, Naruto stated calmly and pushed the sharp blue blade closer. You won't, Danzo said as calm as he could. Inside he was nervous. Naruto was known for not showing mercy. But he had to try and play on his pride and the fact that he was in front of the Hokage and elders along with 2 clan heirs. Naruto, that's enough, Tsunade yelled. Naruto kept his gaze on the man for a little while longer. Naruto put him down and back away. He let his chakra blade fade away. Danzo smirked at Naruto. He had won and always will win. Hiruzen knew better though. He saw the look in Naruto's eye. It was the same look when he was about to kill Neji in the Chunin exams. Kushina, Naruto's mother, had the same look in her eye during the war. It was the look she gave right before she completely destroyed her enemies. Naruto, faster than anyone could see, quickly coated his hand in lighting and cut Danzo's head off. Danzo's head fell to the ground and his body soon slumped over. Naruto walked over to the body and went through hand signs. Goku, I need some of that hot shit. Hot and ready, Goku sent Naruto some of his chakra. Lava balls then formed around Naruto, which he made drop onto Danzo's body and burn it to ashes and then burning that. Everyone in the room was shocked, well, everyone except Hiruzen. The old man simply sighed in pity for his old friend. Tsunade didn't think Naruto would do such a thing as killing her elder right in front of her and the other elders. The elders were shaking in fear of Naruto. Let this be a warning to you elders. Your political power means nothing, and you better know your role and shut your mouth. Naruto then flashed to his compound saying everything he had to say. His message was sent and he knows they got it direct. That boy. Tsunade rubbed her temples in frustration. She loved her son. Her son. It was weird calling herself Naruto's mother at first since she knew his real mother. However, Naruto didn't care and simply told her she was the closest thing he had to a mother. Soon she simply started to see Naruto as her son and just went with it. Yes, he is quite something. Hiruzen blew out a ring of white smoke. Hiruzen, why are you not doing anything? Koharu asked in fear and panic. Hiruzen only raised an eyebrow at her. And what do you want me to do? I am definitely not fighting him, I'd rather fight my old student again. Hiruzen shivered at the thought of just going up against Naruto. He could already hear the devilish laughter. Maybe if he was in his prime, but he knew that it wouldn't even make a difference if he was in his prime or not. He must be put to death. He killed Danzo, Homura shouted. Tsunade then flared her ki at the 2 elders and had bloody murder in her eyes. I've had enough of you. Be lucky he didn't kill you either. Now get out of my office. They tried to stand the ground. They were war veterans for crying out loud. Tsunade got from her desk and walked over to them and grabbed them by their collars and threw them out of the door, breaking their old bones in the process. They all had it coming, the retired Hokage thought to himself. Uzumaki compound. Naruto appeared inside his room in the compound. He took off his battle armor and placed it on his armor stand. He took off his all-black undershirt and pants. He was now dressed in a messy white tank top that highlighted his muscles and well-toned arms. He was wearing some loose black pants similar to that of Tayuya but made for comfort and not battle. He slipped on some blue sandals and left his room. He heard some noise in the backyard, so he walked over to see his daughter in an intense spar with Haku and Gurren. She was using her kenjutsu skills to battle them both off while using some of that kido she was talking about. He could feel her spiritual pressure from inside and could only imagine that it must be worst for the girls outside fighting. He walked outside and saw Rukia be encased in Haku's crystal ice mirrors along with Gurren, who had some crystal shards ready to pierce her. Rukia saw the attacks coming her way and took a calming breath. They had been sparring for 3 hours now and Rukia still had energy to burn. Haku and Gurren seemed to be getting a little tired if their heavy breathing was anything to go by. Rukia reached inside her body and pulled on her chakra. The cold touch of her bloodline ran through her veins like ice-cold water in the morning going down your throat. Ice-style petrifying jutsu. Rukia was quickly covered head to toe in a thick layer of ice that protected her from the onslaught of attacks from Haku and Gurren. Their attacks connected with Rukia's defensive jutsu but she held strong. She quickly formed a plan inside her head. She jammed her sword in the ground and made a platform of ice shot her into the sky giving her a vantage point. She made a cross sign and 3 clones of Rukia popped into existence. They then went through hand signs. Ice-style ice dragon. 3 massive dragons formed behind the clones and rushed the girls on the ground. Haku was low on chakra so this attack would be her last. Ice-style ice dragon frenzy. 5 ice dragons rushed Rukia's 2 dragons. They were smaller than hers but more in number. However, she underestimated the power of Rukia's dragons. Rukia's dragons overpowered Haku's dragon in an instant, making Haku's eyes widen. Gurren made a giant dome of crystal to shield both her and Haku from Naruto's daughter. The whole compound was rocked by the explosion force of Rukia's attack. It was a good thing Naruto put up seals around the compound. I've got you right where I want you. Rukia dropped and was in front of them. Naruto was on the sideline watching with a proud grin on his face. Now that's my girl. Dance, Sode no Shirayuki. A white ribbon extended from the end of her blade's hilt and spiritual pressure exploded off of Rukia. She got into the stance to unleash one of her most powerful poked her sword into the ground 4 times. Haka no Togame. A massive blast of ice shot from the tip of her sword towards Gurren and Haku at intense speeds. They put more chakra into their wall and a layer of ice and crystal shot up to block Rukia's attack. Rukia widened her eyes at the attack she had just launched. She didn't mean to pack so much power into the attack. I got too engrossed in the battle and let out a little too much power. I see why father likes battle so much. I may have ice in my veins but my blood is pumping. I'm so proud of you. The voice of Naruto sounded and next thing everyone knew was Rukia's attack was blasted away by Naruto who had a proud smile on his face. Rukia's heart swelled with pride and joy at her father being proud of her. This was one thing she missed while he was gone for so many years. She missed when they would spend time together. Whether it was training, playing, or just relaxing at home. It's all thanks to you, father. But can you keep up with me, old man? Rukia smirked at her dad. She gripped her sword which hummed in excitement at finally being able to cut up Naruto. Naruto threw his head back in laughter. So you still want to keep going? Naruto summoned his moonlight blade. Naruto lost his grin for a moment and simply gazed at Rukia with nothing but love for a moment. He remembered when they first met. He remembered bringing her to the village, he remembered training her in the sword for the first time, he remembered her first day of school. Now she was a beautiful young woman who was growing each day. His vision began to blur and get watery due to unshed tears. He quickly blinked them away though, now was not the time. Let's see how well you dance. Naruto then dashed towards Rukia who charged in and met him head-on. Bang! The force of the collision between the two sent shockwaves across the backyard. Naruto was holding back so he wouldn't blow his daughter away. Rukia, for her part, packed some power in that. She thought Naruto would at least struggle to maintain balance and she would capitalize on that. You are going to have to do better than that. Naruto broke from their blade lock and engaged Rukia in an intense sword duel. This included slashes, jabs, jumping, lunges, and spinning slashes. Rukia had a hard time keeping up with her dad. They would clash and then disappear from view only to appear in another clash. It was making her frustrated that he was beating her so easily. Why are you holding back? He is the strongest, you can afford to let loose on him a little. Her Zanpakuto criticized her from inside the blade. She wanted Rukia to slice Naruto into pieces. You're right, sorry. Rukia tightened her grip around her blade and her royal purple eyes shined with determination. She was going to win. Rukia soon disappeared in a burst of speed. Rukia was behind Naruto ready to strike. Naruto widened his eyes at seeing Rukia move so fast. He could still follow her clear as day but that was almost like his flying Raijin. He could feel Rukia was behind him getting ready and could feel the smugness coming off her blade. Naruto only smirked. He was gone in the blink of an eye. Rukia was not surprised that her dad was able to dodge her attack. She was not yet a master at the move yet and only good enough to travel short distances. I am impressed once again. Rukia turned around and saw Naruto clapping for her. What was that move called? It is called Flash Step and you can experience it more in a second. Rukia then disappeared again and was on Naruto with fast pinpoint accurate slashes. Naruto bobbed and weaved in between the slashes. Naruto ducked and gave Rukia a shoulder tackle and then kicked her away a good distance, allowing them both to get some rest from the quick exchange they just went through. Naruto stood straight up and held his blade out with his right hand. Don't falter. Rukia dashed towards Naruto in the process, kicking up dust and cratering the ground where she dashed from. Naruto simply held his blade firm and looked sharply at Rukia. Naruto's blade glowed blue while the air got colder from Rukia's sword and chakra. Naruto blocked a barrage of strike from Rukia which left small craters on the ground from the force of her power. Everyone who lived in the house was outside looking at the two with amazement on their faces. Rukia-chan really is strong, Shizune said. She was proud of the girl just as much as Naruto was, well maybe not as much since he was the girl's father. Everyone saw flashes of the two all around the backyard. They were leaving deep cuts in the ground that glowed from leftover chakra. Naruto blocked an overhead slash from Rukia and parried with a slash meant to cut her admin. But she covered her hand in a thick layer of ice and blocked his blade. She's strong. To be this good at such a young age, but this isn't enough to take me down. Naruto stomped the ground and high-pressure water spikes shot up from the ground. Rukia froze some of them and dodged the rest. Rukia slid back and had her blade in her right arm and was high above her shoulder and looked like she was ready to thrust the blade. Naruto slid back in his blue sandals that were covered in dirt. His white tank top was a little dirty but was overall clean. What is she doing? Her blade glowed white and next thing Naruto knew was he had to dodge the thick layers of ice rushing at him. He sliced some of them with his blade but she was able to launch a lot for someone who seemed to be tired. Naruto locked onto Rukia who was about to make her way towards him if the way her legs seemed to tense. Naruto was about 30 feet away from her but space meant nothing to him. The blonde was on Rukia in 3 steps. Don't slip, this dance is dangerous. Rukia had to put her blade up and block the perfect slashes from Naruto. She had no idea how he wielded his sword so fluently. She watched as his blade cut through the wind with no resistance and seemed to make the wind swirl around his blade in a tight motion. Bang, sparks flew as Naruto and Rukia were a blur once more but it was clear Naruto was winning. And for the closer, Naruto did an overhead slash which was blocked but he did not stop and swung once again in a horizontal way. Rukia then lost track of Naruto's blade and was assaulted with the heavy strikes from Naruto. Naruto swung his blade which seemed to be in slow motion for Rukia. The blade caused deep cuts to form in the ground while the wind howled from his blade cutting through the air. Naruto had knocked Rukia's sword from her hand and made her fall on the cut Rukia's cheek, drawing a little blood. Dance of the Uzumaki. That was what Naruto just pulled off. It was 4 formations of movements which got stronger with every formation and step. Rukia had managed to survive 2 steps and was the only left alive to talk about it. Good job little rabbit, you did good. Naruto picked her up and placed Rukia on his back. Rukia blushed. I told you to stop calling me that, I am not a little girl anymore. She put her arms around his neck and legs around his waist to hold herself up. Naruto only smiled. And I told you, you'll always be my little girl. Rukia laid her head on his shoulder and huffed. I know. He began to walk over to the others leaving the half-destroyed backyard which had ice spikes and deep craters with water filling the whole along with pink crystals littered on the ground. Did I do good? Dad. You did amazing Rukia-chan. Rukia smiled at getting her dad's approval. She wanted to make him and her clan proud, she would get strong and eventually defeat him one day and lead the clan. Or she wasn't Rukia Uzumaki. Hokage office, make sure you come back in one shape, this will most likely turn into some kind of fight. Tsunade said to Team 7 plus Naruto and Gurren. Gurren would be the extra team member they needed. It didn't take much convincing from Naruto's part, a little alcohol from his Thunderbirds and she was set in stone. I bet that shithead will pop up. Naruto said with crossed arms, making his blue armor clank. He had decided to wear it since he was sure a huge battle was coming and he wanted to be prepared. When he put on the armor heads were going to roll. If so, you have permission to kill him. Tsunade responded. I was going to do that anyways. Tsunade's eyebrow twitched from her son's antics. Just make sure you all get what information you can before shit goes south. Now dismissed. The makeshift team left to the front gates. The teams appeared and were ready to leave until Kakashi stopped them all. Naruto, can't you just fly us all to the location so we won't waste time? Yes, I could. Great, is everyone ready? Kakashi asked and everyone did a quick pat down to make sure they had everything. Naruto looked to Gurren, who was wearing her green dress that had one long sleeve and another missing sleeve. Under her dress she had a red turtleneck, which is a one-piece suit that has a white fluffy collar and black gloves. On the bottom of the dress there is a big Uzumaki swirl the color white. Gurren is wearing calf-length black sandals. She looked damn sexy if he was being honest, and had to resist the temptation to take her back home and dominate her. He would settle for what he could get now though. EEP. Gurren let out a girlish squeal that was not like the normal Gurren, who was sadistic and well-mannered. The light blue-haired woman turned to glare at Naruto, who was not looking ashamed at all, only grinning. Must you do that in public? Her face had a pink tint to it from the embarrassment of getting her ass slapped in public. I'm sorry, I just couldn't help myself. You are a pervert, Sakura said in deadpan. Sakura-chan. The group turns to see a white-haired teen who had a slim figure walking up to the group, but mainly Sakura. Naruto remembered the guy right away when he saw the two red dots on his forehead. Kimimaro-kun. Naruto saw his little pink-haired sister run and jump in the man's arms and give him a big kiss. His eyes almost fell from his sockets. Naruto looked to see if anyone else was shocked like him, but they were all smiling as if this happened often. So you are about to leave, I see. Kimimaro said while holding Sakura by the waist. Yes, we are about to track down some spy. Well, be safe, I will be waiting for your return. He gave her another kiss and left in a body flicker. Sakura put her hands to her red cheeks and started to fantasize about the things they have done and will do. The pink-haired girl then snaps out of her thoughts and goes back to the group and is under the gaze of Naruto, which makes her shrink. So anything you want to tell me? Naruto asks, looking down at Sakura. Surprise, she said weakly. Naruto looked at her for some more, making his gaze even more penetrating. He then bonked Sakura on her head, giving the girl a lump. Sakura whined a little before she healed herself and glared at Naruto, but she hid behind Kakashi when he raised his fist again, except this time his three elements, wind, water, and lighting, spun around it. Anyways, let's go. Naruto, summon one of those thunderbirds please. Kakashi clapped his hands. Naruto then bit his thumb and went through hand signs, and in a puff of smoke 2 6-winged birds were there and ready. One bird was all black and the other was all white. The white bird was called Blanco and the black bird was called Negro. Well, look at you two all grown up. Naruto rubbed their heads and the two birds leaned into it. Yes, Naruto-sama, we are big and strong now. The white bird named Blanco said in a childish male voice. We were always strong, HMMP. The black bird named Negro said in an arrogant male voice. He was quickly smacked upside his head by his twin brother. Yay, that's why Naruto-sama beat you up last time, right? Blanco laughed at his brother. You can't beat me though. Negro got ready for a fight. Oh yay. Blanco also got ready, but before they could fight they were both hit over the head by Naruto. You still argue over the smallest things. Naruto sighed while the birds rubbed the bump on their head. Just take us to Tenchi Bridge. Naruto climbed on Blanco, Gurren followed behind him and wrapped her arms around Naruto's waist and smiled. Sakura and Kakashi climbed on the Negro and they all took to the sky. Hokage office, you can enter now. Tsunade spoke out to nobody until the wind from the breeze blew her hair. When the breeze went away it only showed the serious face of Jiraiya. Tsunade, seeing the serious face of Jiraiya, also put on a serious face. What's going on? Iwa, they are sending a fleet of 500 ninja to the hidden grass to take it over and grab a foothold. Tsunade's eyes widen in shock. That's not good. This will spark a war, no doubt. The Hokage then started to bite her thumb in nervousness. Why would Onoki do this? We have more allies than he does. That is true, but they outnumber our ninja. Jiraiya put in his 2 cents. That still wouldn't make him do something as outrageous as this. Tsunade yelled quickly, losing her temper. I know, the old man must have something up his sleeve. Jiraiya went into deep thought about what could have made him so sure of his actions. especially with the fact that Naruto was back and an active ninja. The answer soon came to both Tsunade and Jiraiya at the same time. Akatsuki. Tsuchikage's office. The third Tsuchikage was currently shaking the hand of one Pain, the leader of the criminal organization. They both had a common enemy in this situation: the Leaf Village. It also helped that they had done business once in the past. One wanted peace while the other would only take what was left. Like a vulture, Onoki claimed it would help Iwa become the strongest and surpass all the others. I will be in contact with you. Pain didn't give Onoki any time to argue and just left the room. The old man grumbled about young whippersnappers and showing no respect these days. That was until his granddaughter spoke up. Gramps, I don't like this, we should find some other way to deal with this. The Leaf has us outnumbered with allies. Some guy with fancy eyes isn't going to help. Will you calm yourself down? I know what I am doing. Really, we have been having skirmishes with the Leaf for 3 years now, you also waited for him to come back. Kuretsuki, the fiery woman, had a hint of anger in her voice. What? Are you scared? Onoki snapped on her. The black-haired woman gasped in shock at this. How the hell could he say that when she was the only one out there fighting that crazy blonde and holding her own? She wasn't stronger than him, but she damn sure did a better job than anyone else who has come into contact with him. The female Junin knew Naruto was holding back on her because he never used his Bijuu's chakra, only his stupid storm release. How the hell can you say that? You are not even out there fighting. All you do is push papers and complain about your back problems. You haven't seen his power, you don't know how overwhelming it is. Onoki scoffed at his granddaughter. He is just a brat with a head too big for his shoulders. I have seen his kind before. The big-nosed Kage thought of the late Madara Uchiha he had fought long ago. Kuretsuki started to shake with controlled rage and the ground under her started to melt. I am telling you not to make such a brash move against the Leaf like this. Stop thinking about the old way of things, it won't solve anything. Get out, Onoki said, not even looking at his granddaughter, who had a sad look on her face. She knew what he was planning would only hurt them more in the end. The words of Naruto then rang back into her head. It's time for a change in the world, out with the old farts and in with the new. I look forward to our next dance, Bumblebee. You will become even more beautiful in the future. Kuretsuki left the room and punched the wall outside, causing lava to explode from her hand and melt the whole wall. There was a blush on her face that went to her ears. That bird brain, flirting with me when he already had a harem of girls. She let out her HMMP. No way in hell would she become part of his little harem. She'd rather run a lava-covered hand through his heart. Naruto was a rival for her and nothing more. Last time she saw him was a year ago in one of the skirmishes in Waterfall. He had changed, the bird brain wasn't just throwing jutsu around like he was before. Her face got red again. He was also more handsome. She then left in a body flicker to her house before anyone could see her. Appearing in her front room, she took off her flap jacket and was only in her red shirt that had a sleeve missing. The black-haired girl fell back on her couch. We don't see each other that way and he knows it. He is simply a flirt and can't help himself. She shook her head. Why was she thinking about that bird brain like this? A flirt he may be, but a cheater Naruto wasn't. She knew him well enough to know his loyalty ran deep just like hers. We are just rivals and I will come out on top. She had to admit though. The thought of fighting Naruto when he was holding nothing back was a little unsettling. They already reshaped the earth with their fights. What could he do at full power? The pink-eyed woman knew that Naruto cared for her somewhat and she hated to admit it, but she did as well. But if a war broke out, would he just kill her? She didn't want to die. There was her dream of leading the village and she was sure Naruto would become Hokage. She pictured the two of them both with the Kage hats along with Gaara. That was when it hit her. Out with the old and in with the new. So that is what he meant. The bird brain wants to make a new era for the shinobi. A smile then came to her face. I'm down, but you still won't beat me. Tenchi Bridge. The group were hiding in the bushes overlooking the bridge. They had jumped off the birds so they wouldn't get noticed right away. I'll transform and make my way over there. Naruto, in a puff of smoke, was now an exact copy of Sasori. Don't forget to change your voice, Kakashi told the disguised blonde. Already on it, Naruto said in a voice sounding as if he had just smoked 100 cigarettes in 5 minutes. His voice was scratchy to the group's ears. I'll be off now. Naruto left out the bushes and walked over to the meeting point. Should we really have let Naruto go? Sakura said with a worried face. Kakashi only waved her off. He's the best at the clone jutsu, so it only makes sense that he goes. But he is not known for patience. Sakura tried to reason. Until Gurren cut in. Master will be just fine. Gurren sent him a smile which made the two calm down a little. That is until her smile turned wicked. But if it doesn't, it gives us a chance to kill that fucker. Slowly, Gurren began to laugh evilly to herself. Sakura and Kakashi moved away from the blue-haired woman. On the bridge, Naruto was now looking at the approaching form of Kabuto. I knew he was a spy. Should have just killed him in the forest. Doesn't matter, he will most likely die today. Naruto stopped thinking that way when he felt someone else off in the distance. A grin came on his face, but nobody could see that. Hello again, Sasori-sama. What do you have for me? Right to the point as always, I see. Kabuto did a slight chuckle. You know I don't like to be kept waiting. So just get on with it. Right, well Orochimaru has been training the Uchiha so he can take over his body soon. It is almost time for him to switch bodies. So you are saying he is weak right now? Yes and no. While he is not at his strongest, he is still a S-rank ninja, so he will still be able to put up a good fight. The smile then returned to Naruto's face. Okay, anything else? Naruto asked with his raspy voice. It seems that the hidden stone is making a move on the hidden grass. Kabuto said with a smirk and pushing up his glasses. Sasori, Naruto's eyes widen in surprise. Are they trying to start war? It would seem so, if they manage to get a foothold in the hidden grass. They could cut off the supply line and possibly move to the outer villages and possibly boast their ninja forces. That's not good for the Leaf Village. It's not, but do you have what I asked you for? Kabuto held his hand out and had an expecting look on his face. Well shit. Make it quick, I don't have all day. I got it right here. Naruto reached behind him to grab a kunai and shove it right in Kabuto's head. My oh my, what do we have here? The voice of Orochimaru came out of nowhere. Orochimaru. Kabuto and Naruto, Sasori jumped back. Damn it, I checked my tracks. How did you find out? Kabuto asked with chakra scalpels activated. Orochimaru chuckled and gave a slight signal to Kabuto which he caught. Before Naruto could say anything, he was struck, which dispelled the transformation around him. Naruto was now standing on the bridge with a grin on his face. The attack did nothing to him and he simply dispelled the transformation. When Kabuto and Orochimaru saw who it was, they took a step back in fear. Why is he here? I can't beat him with my body in this condition. If only I had Sasuke's body. Stop whatever it is you are thinking. Even if you had that Uchiha's body, you still wouldn't be able to defeat me. Naruto crossed his arms and had a confident look on his face. Orochimaru scowled at Naruto. This brat was really a problem, if only he had tried harder to kill him in the Forest of Death. Are you going to tell the rats to come out? Orochimaru looked to where the others were hiding. Naruto turned his back to them. Hey you guys. Come on out. Kabuto was about to rush in and strike Naruto in the back until Orochimaru stopped him. Don't, he is simply baiting you. Orochimaru hissed to his loyal subordinate. Kabuto scowled at his own weakness. He then watched as Sakura, Kakashi, and the most surprising of all, Gurren, landed on the bridge. Wow, so many strong ninja just for us. I feel proud. You won't be feeling anything soon. Gurren cracked her knuckles and got ready to kill her former master. If you couldn't kill me years ago, how will you kill me now? Orochimaru asked in a mocking tone. He would have said more if it weren't for the blue flash that appeared in his face. It was Naruto fucking Uzumaki. Don't worry about her, worry about me. Naruto punched Orochimaru in the chest so hard that he heard bones break and was sure his rib cage was now cracked to all hell. Orochimaru was sent flying through trees for miles, causing a path of destruction including fallen trees, trenches, and spilled blood. I'll take care of this guy, Gurren. You handle him. Naruto then left in a lightning bolt. You heard him, I'll take care of this guy. Gurren summoned swords made from crystals and charged Kabuto, who used chakra scalpels. Damn, I need to go and back up Lord Orochimaru. Kabuto spared a glance to where his master was and got a slash across his chest from Gurren. Pay attention. Gurren then sliced her blades again, but Kabuto, who was now paying attention, was able to dodge them. Gurren increased her speed to land a solid hit which sent the glasses-wearing teen into the trees. Gurren jumped over there and slammed one of her blades into his chest, causing him to spit up blood. Gurren smirked sadistically and turned the blade in order to cause more pain. Not be bad. Kabuto spit up some blood. If only I was real. Kabuto then turned into mud and Gurren scowled in anger. She looked around to see him running towards Naruto. No you don't. Gurren slammed her hands onto the ground and crystals shot up and were ready to skewer Kabuto. Crystal landfill. Kabuto had to use athleticism he didn't know he had in order to dodge. He was still cut and got some scratches from some spikes. Kabuto had to use some medical chakra to heal the wound on his chest and other scratches he just received. He tossed down a smoke bomb in order to come up with a plan out of this. Damn, she seems to have gotten stronger. I don't think I will be able to beat her head on. Kabuto pulled out a kunai and got ready to move. That was until he saw Gurren come out of the crystal shard he was leaning behind. Gurren stabbed him in the shoulder. She was going for the head, but the medic was able to dodge it at the last minute. Kabuto backed up in the smoke and cursed silently. He had to duck crystal shards that were shot at him again. He had to duck and roll again from all the crystals coming his way again. It's like she knows where I am. Kabuto once again had to dive out the way of a crystal dragon that came his way. He noticed that the dragon cracked a crystal shard behind him. Gurren had trapped him in some kind of crystal circle. An idea already formed in his head. Is that the best you could do, weakling? I see why Orochimaru-sama never wanted your body if you were this weak. Kabuto blocked more crystal shards. As if I give a damn. Gurren launched a volley of crystal shards that gleamed in the light towards Kabuto. The attacks missed but ended up hitting the place where the crack was, which had got bigger from the last attack. I don't even see why you even came. You can't even hit me. Kabuto felt Gurren's chakra spike and knew he had this in the bag. You're dead. Gurren flashed through more hand signs and massive crystal dragon formed behind her with gleaming red eyes. She sent her hands towards Kabuto, who actually freaked out a bit from the size of the attack. I have to time this perfectly or it's over for me. Kabuto sent chakra into his legs and his heart pumped at an intense speed, sending more blood to his legs. He jumped out of the way at the last second and watched with a smirk as the dragon smashed right through the crystal shards that were around them. Kabuto quickly dashed out the opening, taking advantage of the dust cloud that was blocking him. Now all I have to do is go and help my lord. Kabuto began to run in the direction where he heard explosions and could feel Orochimaru's chakra depleting fast. Alright, let's move, Kakashi said to Sakura, who jumped off. The silver-haired man summoned a lighting blade to his hand and dashed towards Kabuto with his Sharingan exposed. Kakashi tried to pierce Kabuto's heart, but the glasses-wearing teen moved last minute. Gotta be quicker than that. Kabuto smirked at Kakashi, who only smiled back. Kabuto's danger senses went off last minute. He looked up with fear in his eyes. Sakura was coming down with a heel kick that would no doubt leave him 6 feet under. Kabuto channeled chakra into his back where it would hit him in order to try and soften the blow. CHAA. Sakura landed heel first on Kabuto's back, which sent him into the ground. The impact sent tremors throughout the earth. The ground cracked and Kabuto spit out blood from the impact of the kick hitting his spine. The ground exploded like a geyser, which sent another wave of destruction everywhere. Sakura, Gurren, and Kakashi landed outside the 10 feet deep crater that had Kabuto laying in the ground face first. They slid down the side and stepped closer to Kabuto, who wasn't moving. Gurren made another crystal sword and stabbed Kabuto right in the heart. She wiggled the blade around just to make sure he was dead. He is dead for sure. Gurren grinned down at the guy she had wanted to kill for a long time. Kabuto melted, revealing a hole under his body. The group was shocked once again at Kabuto getting away once again. Damn. Sakura cruised at the glasses-wearing teen getting away again. Gurren was no better, he had escaped from her once again. Calm down you two. We put him in an almost death-like state. Wherever he is, he will most likely die. Kakashi tried to calm him down before they blew a casket. Naruto was currently staring down a glaring Orochimaru. Naruto had completely outclassed Orochimaru that whole fight. He wasn't even wearing his normal grin or anything. Just bored. What a boring partner Orochimaru was. Is summoning snakes and jumping out of your body the only thing you know how to do? Orochimaru's glares intensified. The boy was already strong from a young age, but now he was even stronger and holding back on him of all people. You'll die, boy, you can't keep up with me for too much longer. Fighting with someone like you is nothing more than child's play for me. Naruto said and then flexed his hands and got ready to attack. Cocky brat, I'll kill you. Orochimaru dashed towards Naruto with great speed. Naruto looked boredly towards the approaching Snake Sannin. Naruto only grabbed the hand that was aimed for his face with his left hand. Naruto then punched Orochimaru in the gut, making the man go wide-eyed from the power and pain he felt. Orochimaru was sent flying back. Your false imagination of power is really pathetic. Naruto then appeared above Orochimaru and dropped down with a hand coated in chakra and punched him in the face, causing an explosion to go off that could be felt all the way to where the rest of his group was. When the smoke from the explosion cleared, it showed Naruto standing alone in a crater that was 30 feet deep and 20 feet wide. So he somehow escaped. But he didn't escape in one piece. Naruto looked at the arm of Orochimaru he had managed to grab before he switched bodies. Naruto looked over and saw the rest of the group coming towards him. When they arrived, he saw the disappointed look on Guren's face. What's the matter, Guren-chan? Naruto walked over and grabbed her hand tightly. Guren sent him a thankful smile. I failed to do what you asked of me and didn't kill Kabuto. Guren looked down when she said that, only to have her chin lifted and to see the smiling face of Naruto. It's fine, I bet you kicked his ass though, didn't you? The ecstatic look on Guren's face was all he needed to know. I sure did. Don't even worry, we can track them down and finish them once and for all. How can we do that, Naruto? Kakashi asked. He got a smirk from the armor-clad blonde. I can still sense their chakra and it is not far off, but it only seems that Orochimaru managed to get away because I don't feel his butt buddy near him. So does that mean Kabuto is dead? Guren asked, a little too happy. Maybe, or he just didn't get to Orochimaru. Naruto then put Guren over his shoulder, making the women get out a surprise deep. Anyways, let's go before he gets away. Naruto dashed off, leaving Sakura and Kakashi behind. You heard, brother. Sakura threw Kakashi over her shoulder and also dashed off behind Naruto. Let's go. Sometimes, I really hate these kids. Kakashi thought while drowning in despair and shame at being carried like a sack of potatoes. Naruto and company appeared outside what looked like a fake tree that had an opening on the inside. Well, this seems to be the place. Naruto put Guren down, who wobbled for a bit at the fast speeds. Yay, but how do we get in? We obviously can't just go through the front door. Kakashi said. Simple, we just blow this bitch up. Naruto said and flew up to the sky and got ready for his jutsu. Should we really be letting him do this? Sakura asked, looking up at Naruto. Most likely not, but it will make things easier if we ignored all the traps and just bombed the place. Kakashi said. You guys should get back a safe distance, shit is about to get really destructive. Naruto shouted down to his team, which was a little too close. Seeing everyone was a good enough distance away from him, he got ready. The clouds covered the bright blue sky, which quickly became heavy storm clouds. Thunderclap. A huge lightning bolt shot down from the clouds and impacted the hidden base, causing shockwaves to be sent all throughout the forest and trees to be uprooted. When everything cleared, it showed the base had been completely destroyed and was even on fire in some places. There was a huge hole showing the inside of the base, which had odd patterns going up and down the wall. He was sure there were a couple of dead people somewhere. Alright, let's get all those who are hiding. Water formed from thin air by Naruto and was sent down like a waterfall into the base of Orochimaru. This would tear down the weak walls and bring people to vision. I'm not done just yet. Naruto sent down lightning blasts into the water to finish anyone off. He then felt Orochimaru's chakra and someone else's. Naruto dropped down to where his team was. Let's move in. Naruto left with everyone else to where he felt Orochimaru and the other person's chakra. Arriving at the scene, everyone could see a hole blasted in the roof of the hideout. They all went to the hole, which let them see none other than Sasuke, Uchiha and Orochimaru. Well, would you look at the little traitor. It seems the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. Naruto crossed his arms and looked at the two with cold eyes. Sasuke glared at Naruto and activated his 3 Tomo Sharingan. Don't ever compare me to him. You know I beat your brother 3 years ago, he was really strong and I can clearly see you are not on his level. Naruto said almost mockingly. Sasuke scowled even deeper and glared harder, he then raised his hand to the sky. Naruto looked shocked for a second before he wiped it away. Are you challenging me? Naruto asked. Sasuke scoffed. You are nothing to an Uchiha and that goes for your clan as well. Naruto's look then turned deadly and his power poured out. He wasn't the only one. Guren, who was an adoptive member of the Uzumaki, took great pride in being given the chance at a new life and she would not let such disrespect go unpunished. Sakura, who was also very close to the clan, sent her former crush a glare. Any feeling of hope she had for her former teammate was crushed with those words he said. Even Kakashi sent his former favorite student a glare. He wondered where he went wrong with the boy and felt a little pity for the boy because he knew what was about to happen. Final words of the Uchiha. Naruto said and disappeared from everyone's view. Naruto appeared behind Sasuke with his sword drawn. Be grateful that you were slain by the moonlight blade. Sasuke was about to say something until his view went upside down and then darkness overtook him. His head fell to the ground with a thud. Orochimaru looked at what happened with wide eyes. He began to panic, all his hard work had been wiped away in an instant, all because of Naruto Uzumaki. He looked at Naruto, who didn't have a hint of remorse at what he had just done. An intense rage then took over Orochimaru. I'll kill you. Orochimaru launched himself at the blonde, who simply readied his longsword. No matter how tough you make yourself out to be, this is the end for you. Naruto said right before he slashed Orochimaru in various points on the body. Moonlight sword style, sleet storm. Orochimaru's body then fell into multiple pieces. Blood flew everywhere and his inner organs dropped to the floor. Naruto looked at the two ninja he had just slain. It was another body for his moonlight blade which seemed to hum. Naruto raised the blade up to his face. You are really insatiable, you know that. The blade hummed, which sounded like laughter if Naruto was being serious. Naruto-kun, you should destroy the Uchiha's eyes. Kasumi's voice echoed in his head. Yay. Someone might come after his body for that. Naruto walked over to the head of Sasuke and covered his fingers in wind chakra and jammed his fingers in his eyes, moving them around to be sure he got the job done. Naruto, is that really necessary? Sakura asked, a little green in the face at what Naruto was doing. Yay. Don't want anyone to take his eyes and cause more trouble. Naruto then stood up and sealed the two in a scroll so he could show his mother and get the money for killing these two. Alright, let's get back to the village. That will be it for this video. If you want more, comment down below, like, subscribe. And see you guys later.